What's the worst legal thing you can do? Permanently destroying huge swaths of land. There's a development corporation in my hometown that has bought up virtually all of the remaining woods, meadows, and wetlands in the area, paved them, and built retail spaces that go vacant just a few months later. Businesses aren't even moving into these office parks, but the group just keeps spreading out and developing. It seems like every month, I drive past another leveled tract of land. How is that even economically viable? Often large corporations get grants and tax exemptions for developing unused land into usable land. Even if that land does not eventually get used. It allows towns to expand and have more potential for property taxes. They sometimes can use the capital losses from the unused land as write-offs to offset tax debt in other areas that are more prosperous. If the land eventually sells, they recoup the money that they already claimed as a loss, but it is not taxable since it is long-term real estate profit. Towns get federal money to help maintain infrastructure that is based on the square mileage of a town. It is the town's advantage to incrementally increase the size of a town every year, so the federal infrastructure money gets incrementally higher in value. We are such a stupid species. You can leak the names, addresses, email addresses, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, and payment card details of nearly half of all Americans, and more than half of all American adults, and then settle for about $5 per person. Hold Equifax accountable, yo. Don't forget 3 of their top-level executives sold a significant share of their stock holdings just before the breach was announced to the public. Isn't that insider trading? Nope. I mean, for you or me, yeah, absolutely, but not for them. I think it's pretty shitty to claim bodily harm from a very minor car accident just to get $10K, and make the other person pay more for their car insurance. I'm looking at you, lady. I hit going 3 miles per hour. Probably not the worst thing, but it's pretty bad. How did you hit someone going 3 miles per hour? Unless she jumped out in front of you. I've done this. Person ahead of me started driving after stopping at a stop sign, cause it was their turn to go. Then slammed on their brakes for no reason, so I rear-ended them at about 3 miles per hour. I followed them to try and exchange insurance info or whatever, but they sped off and that was it. Really weird situation. Marrying someone you don't love. Imagine finding the love of your life, getting married, and maybe even having kids, and then they tell you they never loved you, and you built your whole life around them for nothing. This happened with a Russian spy in the Cold War days. Married an American woman as cover. When he got caught, she found out her marriage was a complete lie. You should look up Pu. He was a Chinese spy, male, who married a French diplomat, also a male, posing as a woman. They lived together and even had a son. That must have been an interesting pregnancy. Schedule people to work 39.5 hours a week. My girlfriend is constantly scheduled 15 minutes shy of the amount of time at which they'd be required by law to give her a break. It's gross. My wife gets 4 hours 15 minutes of work 5 days a week. Keeps here under full time and she never takes a paid break. My fiancé works full time and doesn't get a break at all. It's illegal, but if she were to complain or fight it, it would just be more trouble than it's worth. A parent keeping their kid from the other parent when there's no good reason to and leveraging the courts to do it. Yeps. My stepson is now 18 and living with us for the last 3 months. His mother screwed him up so badly. She would scream at anyone who would even partly listen that my husband was abusive while offering zero proof. We are trying to slowly build a future for him. Luckily it's bitten her hard. He wants nothing to do with her at all. Meanwhile we are pushing him hard to get his own place, and enrolling in college classes. It will take a long time, but at least it's getting better and he can see what a screw up his mom really is. Thank you for doing this. I work in family law and I see this way too much, and I try my best to reassure my clients that their kids will come around, but my word means not much when they're missing someone so much. I'm glad it worked for you. You can spray tan a baby, totally legal. Any baby? Baha, imagine that, you pick up your kiddo from childcare and suddenly it looks 20 shades darker. Happened with me and my wife when our baby was born. Crazy how nature works. Who's gonna tell him? Standing idly and filming people who desperately need help, instead of helping. Like those kids that filmed and laughed as a disabled guy drowned and died. In many cases it actually is illegal to withhold aid from someone or to not notify emergency services if you are physically able. In the US. NAL, but this is not true in the US. The US Supreme Court has affirmed time and time again that in general, no one has a duty to rescue except under certain limited circumstances, i.e., if you caused the perilous situation to another person, then you have a duty to rescue. What the US does have is the Good Samaritan law, which protects you from being sued for rendering reasonable aid. Before you ask, yes, Seinfeld basically got the whole thing completely reversed and wrong. Giving out someone's number or email for spam. That's actually illegal in the European Union. Oh fuck. I constantly put the spam numbers into the home refinancing websites. Shit. A lot of the spam callers use number spoofing, and the numbers they use for spoofing often are numbers real people have. So you might be giving a real person spam. Just pointing this out. This is true. I've had people call me back saying they got a call from my number. Several spam calls are now the same area code and 3-digit prefix, so it's easy to think it's a local call. I got a spam call from my own number. Is it illegal to leave your shopping cart in the parking lot instead of returning it to the corral? If not, that. The obvious solution is what stores do in Europe, which is having the cards locked up and requiring you insert €1 or another small coin into them so that they become usable. To get that coin back you have to relock your cart in the corral. This is also what Aldi is, said to be, doing in the US. And it works, quite well at that. Wanna be a douche and don't care about your coin? Go ahead, leave your cart. But the more important aspect here, is that others have an incentive to take it back for you and get some free money. It's surprising how little money is required for people to stop being douches. Ask people for credit card details in the street for donations to charity. There's a few different laws in many places you'd hit. Many cities have solicitation ordinances, so you need to be licensed first. Then, you can't claim to be a charity in many jurisdictions without appropriate paperwork, and there are further rules on maintaining that, including how you spend the money. If you meant people who are actually licensed and working for a legitimate charity doing this, then yeah, legal and awful. Have a child. Never bring him out in public. Only take photos of him beside a mocked-up meteor crash. Let him find the pics when he's 13. That's what the Kents did to Superman. It's just a coincidence he turned out to have superpowers. Clark Kent would have made a fine average reporter too. Didn't he know Superman too? Such a fine, mild-mannered man. Steal people's money through fine print conditions. You can actually sue someone for unethical contracts. You can sue for literally any reason, it's winning that you have to worry about. Don't worry now. You're assigned to Agent Richardson. He may be taking notes right now, winky face. Hi Agent Richardson. Sue your poorer ex-spouse for child custody so repeatedly that you drain their finances and can't fight it anymore. This could describe patent stealing too. Small guy invents something, big guy steals invention, sues inventor into being broke so small guy can't fight Goliath anymore. There's a documentary called The Patent Scam. It's so awful how much of a racket the patent industry is now. Taking out a vague patent for something, then suing someone you claim is violating your patent for $3,000, and if they try to fight back it will cost $10,000. Then hit the victim with a non-disclosure agreement so they can't tell anyone how they were financially raped. Just killing American entrepreneurs. Bake cookies, but with chewing gum in them. Ugh, my teeth feel weird just reading this. Chewy cookie lovers will be tested with the ultimate chewy cookie. Someone wasted money to put a silver on this, why? Recruit people to join Scientology. Or an MLM. Those poor people just don't get it, even as they lose money. Actually, I'm in multi-level marketing, I make a lot of money. I can show you how you can too, if you join my 69-step program. That sounds awesome, but are you open to my direct sales opportunity with 3.14159266535 etc. steps? All the shit that the Westboro Baptist Church does. I had a friend who died while they were tubing down the Platte River. He got caught in an undercurrent and drowned. He was about 18 at the time. During his funeral, Westboro showed up to protest, saying God killed him because we allow gay people to get married. They also had police protecting them. It was so terrible. There were little kids holding signs who couldn't have been older than 6. What the absolute fuck? Murdering or raping someone, but it's legal because you have diplomatic immunity. What's this bone saw in your luggage? Oh, it's okay, I'm a diplomat. Sir, this aisle is for 10 items or less. It's okay, I'm a diplomat.